And we're back. It's NFL Week 5. It's October. We're humming in the lab. We're cooking in the Cranston lab. However you want to spin it. Welcome back to another episode. Sports Gambling with Moneyline Monaco. Alex Monaco joining you here. As you see it, had to re-update the whiteboard. We live on TikTok at Moneyline Monaco. Appreciate you if you do follow me across social at Alex_Monaco. Pack a lunch finding me on Twitter. I digress. Coming off a Thursday night football dance. My goodness. Did we love the Falcons, but did we love the Scuba Steve under? Catch an L by intermission. All the trends to the under, and that's why you have to do your own thinking. We did cash the Falcons. We took them at plus 480 live. Benefits of following me on all social platforms. Can't podcast, live tweet, live post, but you can on Twitter, and that's exactly what we did. Got the Falcons with great value, plus 6.5 and plus 480 live on the money line. But again, all what we do next on the program. Please, if you're cashing with me, subscribe, rate, review. We're out here, sleeves rolled up, foxhole party of one, producing ourselves. We love it, though. Let's get in to NFL Week 5 just to set the table. Off a 3-1-1 Week 4, we were absolutely dialed. We were a half a point and a half a point from a 5-0 weekend. We told you we love the Ravens. Minus 2.5 favorite bet. I said it on ESPN New York. I said it on my guys Kaplan and crew. I said it from the East Coast to the West Coast. Well, let's get in to me getting off of the Baltimore Ravens as much as we have been on them the last 2 weeks here. And pending where you shop, there are Bengals plus 3s out there. As we tape on a Friday, it's Bengals plus 2.5. And I got to do what I got to do and punch a ticket on a Friday. But if you're willing to stay patient, public's going to love the Ravens in this spot. How couldn't you? Beat the brakes off of the Buffalo Bills last week. But I told you, 1-2 versus 3-0, and the 1-2 team was laying points. This is where Vegas sometimes gives you a clue. They're not going to tell you where they're going, but they might give you a clue, and you often walk into it. This Week 5, best bets, pack of 5. I got a couple sharp plays, but I am on a couple public sides. I'm not just going to sit here and fade the public. I am the public. I digress. All right, let's talk Ravens-Bengals at Cincy, and Joey Burrow. When he's getting more than 2 points, you simply don't want to fade him. You got to back him. Not only is this a home divisional dog setup, we're in September and October. In the last 10 years is a 60% against the spread cover. We are talking about two elements here, two huge elements. Joe Burrow in a must-win game at home. Never dropped 3 straight to the Bengals. Got swept Hogwarts, Gryffindor last year. He comes back this year. All right. When he's a dog at 2 or more points, 18-4 against Vegas. 18-4 against the spread when he's a dog at 2 or more. And I got to shout out Action Network continues to do God's work in the world of betting. Teams after facing Josh Allen, shout out Evan Abrams, throw him a follow on Twitter. 33-53 straight up. It's the second worst on the money line, only to San Francisco. I talk about Galifianakis hangovers all the time. I talk about look-ahead spots. I talk about traveling situations. These are human beings packing a lunch or staying at home. The point is, this is one of those instances where you come off a Sunday night game at home, you're riled up, you're fired up, and you mop the floor with an undefeated Buffalo Bills team. That was a trap spot. Here's the reality in this one. Zach Moss and Chase Brown combined for over 130 last week. Enormous. Going against the number 1 Ravens run D this week. But you got to think, all right, the Ravens are just as good as they are at stopping the run. They really aren't that great at the moment with stopping the pass. And you look at Burrow's numbers against this Ravens team, he doesn't flourish, but he certainly doesn't struggle. And it's a top 7 Bengals passing offense. Hasn't really gotten their legs under him yet. You had no T. Higgins. You had a Chase contract issue. You had turnover with Mixon to Brown and Moss at running back. And you had no Trey Hendrickson, who all signs are trending towards shooting up. Their run D has been atrocious. They are going to address that in this spot. This is, again, I'm not a scratch golfer. I'm not bowling 280. I'm putting the bumper lanes on and I'm bobbing and I'm weaving. But if you've heard how I talk and how I assess these games, the Ravens on the road covering as favorites in the division, the AFC North, if you do your research and you close your eyes and plug the schnoz, underdogs cover in the AFC North against other AFC North opponents more than any other division. That's prevalent with Tomlin. That's prevalent with Lamar, with Joey Burr, and all things Stefanski. Anytime an AFC Northers getting points against a fellow foe, you typically want to take the points. I will with a Cincy season on the line. If you can get a +3, I'll give you an Austin Powers bow. If you find 2.5, rock with me. Cincinnati, #who day Burrows. Oh, by the way, Bengals. I said the Burrows. They've won 13 of their last 20, and Burrow is a home dog, is 5-2-1 ATS. Trends, spot play, momentum, sell high. You have to sell high. No one goes 16-0 against the spread in this league. 17-0 now, 2024. Speaking of which, a team that's not a blemish on their record, not an L in sight, except for a fourth quarter shellacking in a dance against the NFC North foe, Green Bay last week. Let's grab some tea. Let's go early and wake up with the green New York Jets and the purple Minnesota Vikings. Let's go to the Tottenham, former land of Harry Kane, shall we, and talk all things Jets, Vikings. I got +3. Benefits of following me on Action Network. I got all my plays on there. You got to line shop. You got to do your shopping. Look, everyone goes shopping Sunday night. Who's shopping Monday morning? Your bachelor over here. Monday morning, Sunday night, even look ahead spots. The Vegas sportsbooks drop the lines for the look ahead weeks. I nabbed Jets +3 off one of the worst game plans I've seen in the history of football. I mean, we're talking about a dang near onslaught of rain at MetLife, and I gave you Scuba Steve under 39.5 in Broncos Jets. It was my only over-under. I've hit 3 straight unders. I'm obviously an under guy over an over guy. Well, I'm 5'10.5. I'm under 6 foot. How could I be anything but? The point is, this Jets offensive game plan with Nathaniel, how does he still have a job? Hackett. When I read you these numbers, there's no Seinfeld conceivable reason for getting up in the morning. 10 offensive penalties for the offense. 10 carries for Breece Deck to haul 4 yards. 10 carries, 4 yards. What is happening with New York Jets football? It's raining out, and you're trying to force feed passing with a 40-year-old man outdoors in the rain with a banged-up Achilles? What is this, pick up at the Y on a Saturday morning? Put them in situations to succeed. You got to get back to basics in a game like this. And you look at it and you say, all right, Sam Darnold is a different lad when he's from behind, or not blowing teams out like most quarterbacks are, than if they're ahead. The Vikings haven't been down all football season. They got off to a hot start week 1 against the Giants. They never trailed against the Texans. They were up all week last week against the Green Bay Packers. But you lose a fourth quarter 22-3. What does that do for a top 3 defense in the Vikings, top 5, now, in this game plan with Brian Flores going against Green Bay? It's worth noting 2 things here, all right? The looks that Flores can roll out for Minnie defensively in the first month of the season. Daniel Jones is average at best. He's been in the league, but he's still an average quarterback. That is not a get to the line of scrimmage, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady savant, by no means. Then you go against a kid in training wheels still in Brock Purdy. Excellent dude. Excellent quarterback. Still young. Can't sit here and say after a year of starting, the guy's seen every look in the dance. Then he goes against CJ Stroud, sophomore. Well, now he's going against a guy his age, a 40-year-old adult who is so Snickers hangry, pissed off, I don't even know where to begin. This is the 4th-ranked D versus the 5th-ranked D. Now, over the pond in London, historically, you want to take unders. Historically, you want to take favorites. I think this is a gut check game The Jets have a second-ranked pass defense. They're giving up 128 in the air through a month of football, despite Salah having really mediocre leadership qualities. If he runs stairs again, I'm going to lose my mind. If he runs stairs in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium before he takes care of the purple, I'm going to lose my gourd. This needs to be a gut check, dialed in game plan. Now, Rodgers did not flourish against the Vikings in his history in the North by any means, but he does have 57 tugs, 8 mistakes, and a 108 passer rating career against him. If you sit there and you go, all right, this is not a normal game. Let's go quarterback and quarterback, player for player, coach for coach. Yes, you got to give the coaching edge to Minnesota. You got to give the quarterback and the personnel edge to the Jets. And who are we getting the points with? The Jets. There's your answer. Jet up, take flight, pick a hashtag. The Jets are covering +3 if you can find it, +2.5 if you must. I got it at +3 official play on the program. Let's go over and not take a helicopter because we live in a studio where we have a bedroom, a living room, and a kitchen all in the same Schwitzfest. We are not Jerry Jones in our way over to Pittsburgh on a terrible towel Sunday night with the worst rushing attack in the league, Dallas Cowboys at 75 per game, and backing the Dallas Cowboys. No way, no how, no Micah Parsons, no Dexter. Huge problem for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking at a rookie tackle going against TJ Watt, and I'm licking my chops. The whole public, the whole world loves the Dallas Cowboys if you go look at the tickets and the money. Can we please remind ourselves? Tomlin, off a loss, great spot to back. Top ranked defense in the league at 13.3 points per game. They are second in that category. They are top 3 in rushing. They are top 10 in passing. There is no crack on this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I'm sitting here going, all right, if Dak's going to move the football, no Brandon Cooks, no second weapon here. It's got to go to CD. He's absolutely going to be held at bay. They're not going to be able to protect Dak against this front seven. This is going to be a long day at the office. And I'm sure the pushback is the Steelers lost to the Colts. They lost to Joe Flacco. How does that even happen? It happens because it's the NFL, because the 3-0 Bills go to Baltimore just like that, and it's a smash spot. Nobody shows up undefeated in this league against the spread. You really got to sit there and go, all right, if the Steelers were missing TJ Watt like a Micah Parsons piece, would you feel good about backing Pittsburgh? No. So where with a much improved Pittsburgh offensive line and a serviceable run game and a top 3 turnover differential, fundamentally sound Justin Fields led offense, where are we going to feel that bad as long as Fields stays within the lane? We got to like that he was down 3 scores to the ageless wonder, Joe Flacco and the boys, and he came back and fought back. The Steelers were over double digits on the live market. Please follow me on social media. I'm a live betting assassin. Falcons plus 480 on a Thursday night. You got the Packers plus 12.5 and the Steelers in double-digit points. Those are company cultures that are not going to give up despite a bad quarter, despite a bad half. It's one of the worst teams stopping the run, one of the worst teams running the football. This is a lot of pressure on Dak. They looked good, not great against the New York Giants. Now you got the Steelers pissed off an L at home, less than a field goal. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sharp side. How you doing? Let's talk Buffalo Bills football. Dancing against the Houston Texans. We've seen them be the favorite, Buffalo. They are now the dog. You're giving me 1.5. I'll take it if it's the same juice, similar to the money line. I punched in minus 111 on the money line. If you can grab plus 1.5, go ahead. This, to me, is a fascinating setup. You got a 3-1 straight up Texans team, 1-3 against the spread. You got a Houston Texans team giving up more points than they've scored. You got a Bills team that hadn't lost by 6 or more points in 40 plus games. You got Tim the Toolman, Josh Allen, who still has no interceptions on his record, not throwing or rushing for a touchdown for the first time since 2021. How often does this moment happen? This is huge in the NFL. You get embarrassed on national television. You come back the following week dialed in. It happens more times than it doesn't. We have the second ranked offense in this game. The second ranked offense at 30.5 points per game. A Bills +5 turnover differential club. So let's say this becomes a shootout. Do you not lean towards Josh Allen in a shootout? Let's say this becomes a chess match. Now, there's a couple of key pieces. I've been fading Buffalo more times than I've been backing them, and I really hope I'm not walking into it. Can't say this is a sharp side by any means. There is a lot of belief that this Texans team is going to win this game. They got by against a Jacksonville team that Buffalo smoked the week before, 47-10. I just can't sit here. Now, Buffalo was 4-0 off another win. Maybe I would be looking at the painting different. I'm not. I'm looking at this going, how in the world is Josh Allen going to drop 2 straight after he didn't score or rush for a touchdown and the Bills got eviscerated? This is a great see if they got a little DOG moment versus an otherwise soft Texans defense right now. They're going to let Josh Allen run around, do his thing. It's a pick'em game for a reason. I will take the Bills. Josh Allen, by the way, 23-11 off a loss in a pick'em game against CJ Stroud and a team that's giving up more points than they're scoring. I hope I'm not walking into it and we put a cherry on top with our 5th pick. Absolutely backing a game I am walking into. The Sharps have already taken the Rams +3.5. And I'm telling you right now, I cannot wrap my head around where this Rams team is going to move the football and not turn over the football enough against this Packers D. Now, the Packers D, they're susceptible to giving up yards. Stafford's going to throw the rock. They might run the rock. This is not a abysmal Packers rush D, though. And you sit here and you go, the Packers are the number 1 team in turnover differential in the NFL? Wait a second. They have 8 picks, 4 fumbles. They're +12 in the turnover differential department. They're +6 on the overall turnover differential department. Now, that was a tale of 2 halves. Packers in the first half, Packers in the second half. How are you asking Jordan Love against a top defense right now in the Vikings off an MCL sprain in his first half of football to look not a little rusty? All right, he got a ton of looks thrown at him. He got a ton of pressure thrown at him, and he really didn't even look that bad in the first half. It was more about the Vikings offense. Then he comes back by the 4th quarter and almost steals one. 22-3 at Lambeau. This team outscored the Vikings. Now, that's an L, but that's a little bit of momentum out the door off an L. The Rams have a negative turnover differential. They're the worst rush defense in the league, and they're giving up the 2nd most yards in the league. So wait a second. So no Puka, no Cup, banged up offensive line, giving up the 2nd most rush yards to, oh, by the way, a top 2 rush team in the NFL. Do I dare call this a strengths versus weaknesses game? I mean, the Packers are top 7 in points per game. They run the ball at 174 per. You got the Rams giving up 165.5, and the 3rd overall offense in yards for with a top 7 points per game offense with 2 quarterbacks. This is LaFleur versus McVay. Fascinating coaching matchup, but I can't sit here with a Rams team at home banged up and feel comfortable about it. Now, public sides, I'm on a couple. Sharp sides, I'm also on a couple. Steelers sharp, Bengals sharp. Bills, Packers, We'll see how the money and the tickets come in on Vikings and Jets. We've been 8-1-1 in the last 10. All we can do is continue to put our head down and try and cash some W's. Appreciate you. Sports Gamble with Moneyline Monaco. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. We are finding a way to continue to cash tickets. And if you continue to subscribe, rate, and review, we will continue to put the effort and our best one at that forward. Appreciate you. Don't forget to hug your mothers. Thank you for listening live on TikTok. We will see you next show. Ta-ta real smooth.